What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. Today with me, we got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
We might have my brother B coming on. He says some other language that he chooses for that week that he looks up. But yeah, listen, man, today we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. We got some, tickets talking about the sales that came out yesterday at midnight that no one really knew about except if you're on Twitter. We also going to talk about there possibly being a Spider-Man continuation with Amy Pascal talking for Sony, saying that, there's a couple of things that are in the works. So we'll talk about that today. We'll definitely give you a review of Hawkeye episode 1 and 2. And first, I'm going to give Al one of these words that Brandon gave us, which was the Mandela effect. Look that up, people. Mandela effect is a real thing. It's where you think something is real and you find out it never existed. So, yeah. Al, today's Mandela effect, Al. Al, is C-3PO all gold?
In the original movies, yeah.
No.
What?
His right leg is silver. And dude, when I look it up, there's a that picture, the famous picture of them looking into space in the big window.
Yeah.
And it's him next to R2D2.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a picture of it, and his right leg is silver, bro.
What?
It's crazy. I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah, I thought the only time they changed it was for the new one where they gave him like a red arm or something.
Nope. Crazy.
Oh, wow.
Just crazy. I saw it today on Yahoo. I had to bring it up on the podcast.
Damn, you're going to make me put the movie on just to check it out.
Yeah, his right leg is silver. It's ridiculous. But let's talk about the real news of this week, Al, man. Listen, if you guys didn't know, today is Monday, November 29th. Tickets are on sale for Spider-Man No Way Home, coming out December 16th for us real fans, December 17th for everybody else. But the tickets went on sale midnight last night. Now, Al, I don't know about you. I personally did not know the tickets were going on sale at midnight. Usually there's like a big trailer or commercial to tell you when to buy these things. But apparently there was a Twitter something from Sony saying that the tickets were going to go on sale at midnight. I happen to find out because I am a subscriber to the John Campea show on YouTube, and he had a live stream up, and I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he has a live stream? So I go to the live stream, and it says Ticket Watch 2021. So I watch it. He's saying the ticket's going to go on sale in a half hour. So I was like, oh shit. So I log in, and I don't know if any of you guys were trying to buy tickets last night, but it was a mess.
Yeah, I heard a couple of the systems crashed and everything.
Yeah, man. I was on hold I thought I was good. It was a 20-minute wait. So I just held it there, let the thing wait.
Okay.
At around 5 minutes, it reset back to 30 minutes. And then the 30 minutes went, and it said, we have an error.
Oh, okay. What were you trying to buy, a PS5? I thought you or Spider-Man tickets.
Trying to buy tickets, man, but they felt like a PS5. And sure enough, man, it kept crashing the site. I kept going in. There was points where I was getting through to buy the seats. I got seats and everything. But then when I went to click on, you guys are part of my friends and AMC, the A-list thing. Yeah. It would say that you didn't have a membership, that Brandon didn't have a membership, but Sanjay did.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, at this point, I'll freaking just buy the tickets out. Man, no go. It kept like crashing or reloading and saying that there was a mistake or an error. And then I remembered something. I remember the last time this happened with Avengers Endgame. I said, you know what? There's a local theater by my house that's pretty damn good. Showcase Cinemas. Shout out to Showcase, not a sponsor. And sure enough, went right through, bought my tickets. So wow. I got tickets. But I did not want to give up on AMC because we love our AMC in Stony Brook, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. The sound quality, everything. And Al, I went and got tickets eventually at around 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Tickets finally went through. Wow. So now, Al, I have a choice for you, my friend. Is Spider-Man No Way Home a movie you want to see at 4 p.m. so that way you don't get to hear any bullshit from people or the internet and make it an afternoon event? Or do you want to see Spider-Man No Way Home at night at an AMC Dolby Digital Sound at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I think I want to go with that second one. Now, if I could do both, I'd do both, but I think I'm going to go with that second one, kid. I'll
Yeah.
just turn my phone off. I mean, Twitter, YouTube, everything is going to be shut down that day. Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
check out that movie in that Dolby. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man. I was when I got the 2 tickets, I just wanted to have a backup plan in case of anything. So I'm gonna return the tickets at 4 p.m. because I think 4 p.m. is just a little too early for me. I miss out time with my kids, so I'm like, nah, I'll pass on that. I'll wait till 10 o'clock at night to shut down the internet. I'll shut the Wi-Fi off at the house. Make sure no one spoils it for me.
Yeah, turn off my notifications and everything.
Al, do you realize we are 3 weeks away? 2 weeks away?
Yeah, about
Like
3
2 weeks and a half.
Yeah.
Insane, man. Any crazy thoughts or anything going on with Spider-Man No Way Home?
Just with with some of the news I'm sure you're going to bring up in a little bit, like where they're going with this movie. At first I thought this was going to be the end, so I was expecting more of a tragic ending, something to wrap things up. But now, hearing some of the news that I heard today, now I don't know what to expect.
Well, go into that, man. What did you hear today?
Basically, the news I heard today was Amy Pascal, the director, basically announced that there's going to be a new trilogy of Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland's Spider-Man set in the MCU. Yeah. So, yeah, and I heard it's going to be a darker Spider-Man.
Oh wow!
More of an adult themed, not adult themed. Maybe that's the wrong description, but it's not going to be high school Spider-Man. It's going to be more of a young adult Spider-Man. So,
yeah, I mean, from my understanding, they kind of went through the high school with us here with these three, and the next one should be his college years of Spider-Man. Yeah. But I just always wonder if Tom Holland knows he's signed up for a Spider-Man trilogy. It's always those things where they talk for the people, and the people like I just saw an interview where Tom Holland was like, I don't want to do this forever. So it didn't sound like he was set to go any more longer. But listen, he has been a really good Spider-Man, an interesting Spider-Man. He's fit the look for the age group, for high school, for college. So to see him for another 3 movies, I would love to see that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I was listening to what's her name, Grace Randolph, and she made a good point in saying that his Spider-Man would be a good introduction if they're going to do a young Avengers, because he is of the age of the young Avengers. So it would be a good way of using him to introduce and bring together that team, because then, like she said, they're not going to be strong enough to have their own movie. We saw what happened when they tried to do the New Mutants. So to pair them up with someone like a Spider-Man and have him be their introduction into the MCU, and having him team up with them, kind of the same way they partnered like Iron Man and now Doctor Strange with him. It would be, if you're going to do like a more adult version of Spider-Man, have him then partner with these guys, with the young Avengers, and bring them into the fold. I think that would be a good, and bring them into his movie. So I think it might be good.
Yeah, and it was funny. One of the interesting things that she mentioned in this interview that she did with, I think it was either Deadline or Cinema Blend or one of these like entertainment kind of like media reporters there, was that he's going to still be a part of Marvel, which is kind of like crazy because it just seems like everything they've been saying lately has been like he's going to go off to his own, through the Sony movie theaters, the Sony kind of movies with Venom and all their Craven stuff that they're working on and all the other side stuff. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of a deal where these characters that Sony's messing with are going to be like lightly in the MCU, not completely where we're going to see Iron Man, or any of the characters that are still alive right now show up in these movies, but where they can mention the Battle in New York, or they can mention the Eternals or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy to think that could happen, but never know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think, like, to your point, I don't think these Sinister Six, if we're going to get the whole six, even though the previews don't show a sixth villain, I I don't think they're going to be long term. I mean, they did a good job in bringing everybody back. I mean, you got J.B. Fox back and Alfred Molina and everybody. And I think it's a one and done. I think they're in this movie and that's it. Which, to your point, if they're bringing him back and solely in the MCU, and now you brought Venom over in the MCU, are you really going to reintroduce a new Dr. Octopus, a new Electro, and so forth? So it almost begs the question of, although it looks like we're going to have a great movie, what's the point if you're going to do a whole new trilogy of Spider-Man? Then I guess you're not doing Sinister Six, because why are you bringing in at least 4 or 5 of them from what I can see from the preview? You're going to reintroduce them with new actors?
Yeah. And also, on top of that, out, like you just mentioned, like if they hadn't brought it back in these, the old movies, the Amazing Spider-Man and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man universe villains for this movie, I could tell you that they would probably do a Green Goblin, an Electro, a Dr. Octopus for now. But with the college years possibly coming up soon, I really don't know what villains are kind of left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they've done all the big ones. Who's really left as far as Spider-Man villains besides maybe Hobgoblin? Can't really think of anything more. I mean, Venom's coming soon. I mean, Venom should be in this movie as well.
Unless they go into the symbiotes. That's the only other thing I can imagine, because you introduced at the end of Let There Be Carnage. What was the one that they introduced at the end with the cop?
Riot, I believe it was.
Yeah. So you brought in that symbiote, plus you have Venom. Unless they do like the 3 Spider-Men are going to be like a symbiote war arc or something along those lines. I mean, but there's plenty of Spider-Man villains I'm sure that they can tap on. He's been around for decades, but they're going to have to dig into the well and come up with some other high name, big name villains for the next 3 movies if they're going to do any justice. Because to rehash the same Sinister Six, at this point, do somebody new.
Yeah, man. I mean, the only possible I could see is Rhino, and he's like a dumb character.
Yeah, they tapped on him a little bit at the end of Alfred Andrew Garfield's.
Yeah, definitely. And then they kind of like hinted at Scorpion, because that was the guy that was in jail with the Vulture. So I'm not sure if he's going to get out and somehow get some kind of a Scorpion costume. Like, that just could be so corny, but at the same time, we'll see what happens, man. But it's very interesting, man. And, one of the other interesting thing I found out is like the way that these tickets sold last night. I mean, like, it shut websites down last night, and it's like without a trailer, without really promoting it. It's just off of people who knew, and then they told other people, and it went crazy from there. Yeah. And my whole thing is, without even showing that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield are in this movie did that. Yeah. And are you that hyped off of it?
Hell yeah, kid. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why when we said it last time, like, don't do a trailer showing them. You don't have to. And if you're like, if what you're saying happened last night, that proves you don't have to. Right. Just recycle what you've put out there. Throw a couple smaller scenes from the movie. Don't ruin it. You already got everybody hyped for coming. We're all already assuming they're in the movie. Just let the movie be on its own. Don't show any more of it.
Yeah, man. So I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing this No Way Home movie. We got, like Al said, 2.5 weeks to go. Guys, go to your movie theater sites, whether it's AMC, if it's Regal or Showcase Cinemas hooked us up. Yeah. We're probably still going to go to AMC. Still gonna go to AMC. But guys, get your tickets early. That way you can make sure you see it that weekend. Because you know what happens, man. You watch the movie that Thursday, or if you don't watch it Thursday or Friday, even Saturday. By Saturday morning, you go to your websites and there's going to be all the spoilers of what happened in the movie, and it ruins it, man. Even sometimes right before you see the movie, like, I think apparently this movie's coming out 2 days or 1 day earlier than we get it here in the United States.
The UK release or something like that?
Oh, dude, a couple of countries, actually. I think it was about like 17 or 18 different countries or cities in, outside of New York and, United States. They're going to have this movie on the 15th and the 14th. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be on the internet for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to shut everything down, even notifications, because I forgot what movie it was. The ending got ruined for me because of a notification.
Oh
I
man,
think it
even
was
Avengers
Eternals. That's
Endgame.
what it was. I knew
Oh,
about something
Eternals.
about a voice. Remember, I told you, I heard something about a voice at the in one of the end scenes. It was
Uh,
because the person put it like in the title of their clip. So when my
oh
notification
man.
came up that the clip was out, I saw, whose voice does he hear? I'm like, fuck, okay.
Yeah, man. You know that happened to me for Eternals too. I was on again. It was Yahoo, one of the website. My it's like my emails off of Yahoo somewhere, and sure enough, the homepage is a bunch of news sites. And because I go to a lot of movie stuff is coming up there as my like I guess the cookies keep
Yeah.
putting stuff in there. And the first thing I saw was Harry Styles as Star Fox. I'm like, what? So first of all, who the fuck is Harry Styles? And since when is Nintendo inside of Marvel movies? So it's kind of good that I didn't know who Harry Styles was, and number two, I didn't know Star Fox from the comic books. But once I saw the picture, I was like, oh, I know that guy. He's an Eternal from the comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Either way, man. We're just got to be safe out there because I know even Avengers Endgame. When Endgame was coming out, I think Endgame came out on a Wednesday, I think it was. And dude, from Monday to Wednesday until I saw that movie, I refused to go to YouTube and Instagram, nothing. I was like, nope, just watching sports.
Yep.
That's it, man. But yeah, we'll definitely get with you guys and let you know what's going on when we see No Way Home. Hopefully there's not another trailer. I really don't want to see another trailer.
Yeah.
I'm so good to go for this movie, man.
Yeah, but the one who, I mean, I don't know why he's doing this. Just stop being interviewed is Andrew Garfield. Like,
he's getting pissed.
Kid, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna feel sorry for you guys when you see I'm not in the movie," and like he's really laying it on that he's not in this movie.
He's like, guys, stop asking me if I'm in this movie. I'm not. I just don't believe him either. I don't.
Yeah, he's got to be on the contract like an NDA until the movie's out to not acknowledge that he's in it or something like.
And you know what's crazy? And it's messed up because he's doing his part not to spoil a movie, but it's such a bad secret.
Yeah.
Like, listen, even if he wasn't being interviewed, right? You're going to tell me the villains from your Spider-Man movie are going to be in a movie and you not?
Yeah.
You're the big feature of that movie, brother. Like,
yeah.
So, and it's crazy because I go back and forth. Do I want to see them in an action shot? Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I do want to see Toby. I'm actually rewatching these movies right now. I'm watching. I just rewatched the first Tobey Maguire and the second Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up to the third. Then I'm going to do Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then I start my MCU Spider-Man ready to go. So I got 2.5 weeks to watch all these movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like I said last time though, I still hope that they're not a big part of the movie. Again, let the majority of the movie be Tom Holland Spider-Man, and then somehow you bring in the other two for the battle, or a battle, and then that's it. Like I don't want them to take over the movie. I do want Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to get his his due and come in and be able to save MJ from falling to make up for when he didn't and redeem himself for unfortunately
Gwen
not
Stacy.
saving Gwen. Yeah. But other than that, like I don't want them to be a major portion of the movie.
Yeah, show up at the end battle so the whole crowd could lose their shit, and that's it.
Yeah, something like I got some friends or something like so, some corny line to bring them out, and then you show them. Yeah,
absolutely, man. So listen, guys, again, when this movie comes out, you come right back to us, and I guarantee that podcast is going to be strictly about that movie. So.
Okay.
The non-spoiler section is going to be about 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
The rest of the hour and a half will be will be complete spoilers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And then in other news, man, I want to save my fellow movie fans from doing a mistake that I made. Guys, we watch movies. We watch a bunch of these movies that come out every week. We try to look at the movies that are up for the month and see which ones we want to watch. We try to choose all the big blockbuster movies like Ghostbusters, the Marvel movies, the big action set piece movies and stuff like that. But every once in a while, we watch the comedies and different things. So I want to make sure you guys don't make the same mistake I made.
Uh-oh.
I saw a trailer for a comedy that I was like, oh, this looks very interesting. There's a Nintendo involved. Neil Patrick Harris is involved. It's on HBO Max. Oh, it makes it even easier for me to watch. What a fucking waste of time.
Oh, my God.
Dude, how do you watch a comedy straight-faced for an hour and a half?
What movie is this?
8-Bit Christmas.
Okay, yo, they was hyping that movie up, too.
Oh, dude, Al, don't do it.
For real?
I thought it was going to be like a Christmas story.
Yeah.
I can't lie, though. There was a sweet message at the end of this movie about like what you think you want and what you really should want and appreciate kind of thing. And I get that. And it was a nice message. It was touching at the end. I have to admit it was touching. But to watch the entire hour and a half of that, man, oh, no. Never again. Never again. 8-Bit Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't rush to see it.
No.
Don't waste your damn time, actually.
Yeah, and I think I have it in my queue too, because like I said, I was hearing a couple people saying, "Yeah, watch it. It's a good holiday movie. Everything, all this."
I guess my expectations was, the main kid that's playing Neil Patrick Harris as a child,
Okay.
he was in that movie with the 3 kids that were cursing by Seth Rogen like a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like the last comedy that came out legitly was with these 3 kids cursing. I think it was like Bad Kids or something like that.
Yeah.
And just as unfunny as that one was, this one's worse. I thought I was going to laugh. Like I'm very sentimental with the Nintendo area. Like this movie could have talked to me. You know what I mean? Because I remember 1988 when everybody was buying Nintendos. And I remember going to my uncle's house and seeing a Nintendo for the first time. And he was playing karate, or I think it was karate.
Kung Fu, no?
Kung Fu or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right then and there I knew I had to have one. Oh, so...
Duck Hunt.
Yeah. Dude, a little dog comes out. Crazy, man. But yeah, man, that's the one thing I got to see. And like I said, I've been rewatching the Spider-Man movies. Al, have you got a chance to watch anything in the last couple of weeks?
Nah, I mean, other than not movies, I've been watching more series. Invasion on Apple TV Plus. Dr. Brain. If you want to watch a interesting series, Dr. Brain, that's an interesting take on the genre. And what's it called? What did me and my wife just pick up? Oh, Yellow Jackets.
Oh, what's that?
It's a series. It's almost like a Lost meets like a high school TV show. It's about a female, a girls soccer team that's on airplane ride, flight to like a tournament, and then it crashes, and it looks like some sick shit goes down. And we're only into it's one episode a week, so it's not like you can binge it, but it just hit the third week, and check it out. It looks interesting. I mean, it doesn't look like the greatest, but it's got Christina Ricci. It's got what's her name from Cape Fear? Juliette Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and they're doing a good job. There's a nice cast around them. But it's a crazy looking show. So yeah, check that one out if you guys got some time.
All right, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I got nothing else to recommend because all of my other time is spent on fantasy football and football. And in case you guys care, Al's team is still killing it. I don't know how this guy
kid, I don't know.
Is surviving all these injuries, but yeah.
Yeah, kid. I got 3 quarterbacks on my roster. Why I have kid? I'm waiting for Kyle Murray to come back.
Yeah, man. So listen, those are the movies and things we've seen this week. I also rewatched Ghostbusters Afterlife with Brandon, but yeah, same feeling. It was a good movie, just good. But listen, this week, this past week that just came out was Hawkeye. Episodes 1 and 2 came out. The MCU continuation of Hawkeye's story from after Endgame. Man, we're going to talk about that now. So listen, it's no sense into talking non-spoilers on this.
Yeah.
Everything from beginning of the first episode is a spoiler for everything. So we're going to go right into the Hawkeye series, episode 1 and 2. So if you have not seen it, please, guys, pause, go to Disney Plus, go watch it. It's a really nice, I would say it's a really good time, actually.
Yeah.
It's very interesting what they do with some of the story there so far. And yeah, it's all the spoilers from here on out, man. So, Al, man, talk to me, man. What'd you think of Hawkeye? Did it meet your expectations? And what'd you think of the show?
Actually, it actually a little. I guess I had low expectations. Don't ask me why. I mean, it's an MCU show, so you knew it was going to be well produced, well put together. But I still kind of had low expectations. And I'm glad. I'm glad that I still stuck through and watched the show because it was a very good show. Between watching Clint with his family and still trying to have a family life, despite everything, showing that he's a humble person even despite everything going on. I mean, you had all these people trying to thank him, and he's like, "No, you don't have to do that. It's not necessary," or whatever.
Yeah,
and showing that he is human. I mean, he's wearing a hearing aid because of all the stuff that he's gone through. It destroyed his hearing, and he's having to wear a hearing aid as a result. So I thought it was like a realistic reflection of what someone that doesn't have superpowers and strength, what the toll it would have on them, at the end.
Yeah, someone who doesn't wear a helmet.
Jumping off buildings with just a bow and a string, like.
Yeah, it's so funny because they were like, because even me, I'm like, hearing aid. And then they kind of replay why he's wearing a hearing aid. I'm like, that makes sense. Yeah.
Avengers Tower collapsed right around him. Yeah.
Yeah, babe. But also, man, I didn't realize because the first episode kind of took me for a loop. It's like we're watching a Hawkeye series, but we're not really following Clint. We're following Haley Steinfeld's character, you know what I mean? And it's just like that Kate Bishop, I think the name is.
Yeah.
So it's like we're following kind of her, and then it cuts into Clint's life as well. So it's like a nice little balance. But the first episode was really about her, and I was really surprised by that, man.
Yeah, well, it brings up the question of which Hawkeye are they referring to, him or her developing into a Hawkeye? So,
absolutely. Yeah. And I got to tell you guys, that first scene of the first episode blew me away. And I love when Marvel does this. It's the other side or the other aspect of either the human or another person's perspective of what's happening when the Avengers are doing things. Dude, when they showed 2012, I'm like, 2012, that's when the aliens came into New York for the Battle of New York. And you see her like in a big, nice, I think it was an apartment in a high-rise building there, and you see something flash by, and I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna do it. And sure enough, it's her perspective of the Battle of New York, watching the Avengers. And the reason she becomes a big Hawkeye fan is because Hawkeye kind of saved her, and she also saw him from a distance kicking ass. Yeah. All the Avengers are on the outside doing their thing and fighting all these other things, but Hawkeye stopped some guy. And sure enough, like, me and Al watched different YouTube video sites, and we listened to a bunch of different people speak. And there was this one guy who showed where the other aspect matches up with the aspect that she saw it from. It's so cool, man. What would you think of that first scene?
I thought it was crazy, like you said, to show what the people. I mean, when we saw Avengers, the movie, you see all the destruction happening, but to see it from the perspective of a family in one of those buildings that were getting destroyed, made you realize, just how crazy that scene was, the impact it could have. I mean, the girl loses her father, apparently, we'll see, and so forth. So just like the realism, the way she saw Hawkeye, and I think it was the no-look shot was the one that saved her. Yeah. So, and then having her watch him, and you almost hear her say like, yo, he's like, like you can almost feel her saying he's like me, and he just has a bow and arrow, and wow, look what he's doing.
Right.
Which is then why she later says, I need a bow and arrow. So again, it just set the tone for the movie of being like we were saying we were hoping a more realistic story of what a person put in these situations, not a god from another world or a super soldier, but a real person and what they would do in these situations. And we're getting that from two perspectives. Yeah, we're getting Clint, after he went through all that, and now we're going to get, the mentorship of Kate to start doing it on her own.
Yeah, and it was also weird watching him jump off the building without the slow-mo. It was like super fast, right through the window. I'm like, yeah, that's without the slow-mo. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, man. And then, we kind of follow along with her story. You see that she gets kicked out of the school she's going to, where she ruins some tower, the Tower Bell that we've seen in the commercials. But then the next scene is her kind of like figuring out or finding out that her mom is remarrying someone else. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like this underground black market going on. And this is because, the previews, the commercials show her in a Ronin outfit. You're like, how the hell did she get that? And sure enough, it's a black market sale of the stuff that was, I guess, taken from the Avengers headquarters that when it blew up from Thanos. Yeah. Which is another interesting concept. Like, what else is for sale? Mm-hmm. But now my big question to you, Al, is what the hell is that watch? And it doesn't look like a big deal, but that's what they're looking for.
No, I mean, it's got to be a Tony Stark watch. So there's got to be something to it. But what technology? Like, in Spider-Man, we got the glasses and they controlled Edith. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like what could this watch control? Like, is this watch something else that was meant for somebody else? Or was this Tony's watch to control something? And what does it control? So, yeah, I mean, I'm curious where they're going with this watch and why, given everything else that was in that auction, everything was secondary to this watch.
That watch, yeah. The guy even said it, that we're here for the watch. Everything else is just whatever, And it's interesting because the watch looked cool. It was like a silver watch with like a red face. So it looks like an Iron Man kind of watch, but just curious to know what it is. I mean, the most I've ever seen a watch in Iron Man or any of the Avengers movies do was the glove. Remember that one time he made the Iron Man, he put the gauntlet on pretty much.
Was it 3, right? Or
it was either in Civil War or in Part 2.
Oh yeah, when he fought
the Black Panther,
Winter
right?
Soldier, right? Yeah, and Black Panther.
Winter Soldier or the Black Panther, either one. Yeah. The Winter Soldier most likely, but that's right. The Winter Soldier shot in his hand, and he looked at his hand like, what? So I can only imagine by the time that we get to Avengers Endgame that thing doesn't just make a gauntlet now. It makes probably a whole suit maybe. Yeah. So who knows what's involved with that? But we also met one of the characters, which is Haley Steinfeld's, Kate Bishop's character's mom, which is played by Miss, is it Farmiga?
Sure. Yeah.
She's from the Conjuring series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a good actress. Yeah. She's a really good actress, and I'm like surprised that she's in the MCU, but she's in there. But which makes me think again, there's more at play here with this character because it doesn't seem like they'd hired her just to be somebody's mom in a movie. No, you could hire any kind of like stand-in for that, but to hire this actress is just like whoa. She's definitely going to be play something major, which I think is I've also seen in other videos as well as them saying that. They're making it look like her new husband is the one that's in charge of what's happening in a bad sense. You can tell that he's lying about something. He went to the hidden, auction down in the bottom of the basement there. But she's like just off on the side, and they're like, nah, man, they're trying to like psych us out. There's something up with mom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people talking hints of Kingpin. And I don't see that just yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't see any of that. The comic books kind of had that tracksuit mafia people as people who work for the Kingpin. So maybe that's the connection there. But I didn't get any Kingpin vibes.
No, me neither.
Yeah, man.
I definitely get the feeling that the mom is mixed into something bad. But ironically, I think the fiance is going to be a good guy.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think we're getting thrown bad guy vibes from him, but I don't I don't think he's going to be a bad guy. I think he's going to turn out to be a good guy.
All right. It seems
Yeah.
interesting, man. Well,
Yeah.
Kate don't like him, so
No.
and if Kate don't like him, I don't like him. Yeah, man. And I mean, the episode pretty much ends with this whole like fight scene because Kate Bishop gets the Ronin suit, she puts it on, and she's like, well, I think she was trying to find out what's happening with the threats that her mom was receiving from this character named Armando.
Yeah.
So then she goes to Armando to kind of get the scoop, and Armando's dead.
Yep. Stabbed by a sword, which the future stepdad stole from. That's why I say I think we're being led to think he's the bad guy, but it seems too obvious this early in the show. So that's why I know there's a twist coming.
There's definitely a twist, especially with the candy in the second episode. Like, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah.
He has the candy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. But, you know, I never realized, maybe if you think back, that Clint is a curmudgeon, man. He's just upset and serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he plays a good character, man, and I think a lot of the stuff they were saying, like to him, was like kind of on the nose for his character. But there's a lot of like trauma there too, and you know, you get to see that from the beginning of the episode with him.
Yeah,
Al, I gotta ask you, what do you think of the Broadway show?
Oh God. What I'm scared of is that they threw that into the show to see how we would react to a Broadway show like that in reality.
Yeah,
Like,
you could do this all day.
yeah. I'm hoping there's not let's see how they react, and really there's some Broadway show like really lined up to be released. But I thought it was a good play on how society would react if that shit really did happen. Like, you would see us glorify and glamorize the heroes and make them into these, you know, over the top characters in a show and so forth. So I thought it was a good play on the fact that, you know, while everybody around him was celebrating the corniness of the show, and being excited about it, you see him standing back saying, "Come on, what? That guy wasn't even there." Like, you know, you know,
Yeah,
and
they put Ant-Man in there.
Yeah,
he goes, "Listen, I could tell you one thing: that guy wasn't there."
And then just to see his reaction to when they had Black Widow come on the stage, and you see his face, and you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like a good. I like the way they're doing the show, where they're balancing the humanity of the show and him as a person into all the action that's going on. So it's a good two episodes to get us in. So I'm liking the direction so far.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And you know, we get the interaction now with Kate Bishop and also Clint, our Hawkeye. And the reason that they do it is because Clint is at home, or no, he's actually in a hotel room with the kids that he brought to New York City, and he sees the news, and the news shows that the Ronin character is back, and he knows he's Ronin from the Avengers Endgame series, and he just knows that he has to take care of business. So sure enough, they meet up, and then that's when the episode ends there, and we continue the episode from there to part 2, and then episode 2 is pretty much them getting away, them trying to figure out how to get the suit back because the tracksuit mafia tracks her.
Yeah.
Are they really called the tracksuit mafia?
Yeah, kid.
Even she's like, that's pretty on the nose, no?
Yeah, it's pretty right on. Yeah.
Go get him, bro.
Yeah, everything's bro. Yeah. Oh God.
What was anything stood out for you in the second episode that you really liked?
Again, the sense that the humor that they're carrying on, like for example, when he's like, "All right, we got to go get supplies," and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna get Avenger supplies," and then you see them at the pharmacy getting like Neosporin, Band-Aids, and bandages, and she goes, "Really? This is what we came to get?" And I was like, it's just like, you know, again, like what she thought was going on and the reality. And so I just thought that scene was hysterical.
No, the part I found hysterical was when they were doing the LARPing, the live action role playing, and the guy's like, "You gotta let me kill you," and he goes, "I fought Thanos, man." He was so mad that he had to lose with his fake sword. He's like, dude, like I took one for the world, and he's gotta lose to this guy with his suit bag.
And not only that, when he finally agrees to it, he goes, "Okay, go ahead," and he bends over. like he really just gave up. It was like, all right, go ahead. And he bent over like he was literally gonna take it up the ass or some shit like that. I didn't. And even the guy says, "No, okay, we got to make it look real."
Oh my goodness, just crazy, man. But then he gets the suit back, and I was wondering if his wife was going to be a part of the show, and sure enough, he has the conversation that he's going to be around there to take care of the tracksuit people, and it kind of makes it seem like he's had a history with them.
Well, yeah, as Ronin, and I think that's where the show, like, this is the first group that he's going to have to deal with. As a result of being Ronin. I'm sure they're going to bring in other groups. But like, I think this is the first group that's coming into play of him dealing with everything that he did as Ronin during those 5 years.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting, man. And then he goes to, to get this, he gets the suit back. And then I think he kind of tells his wife that he has to do the old capture plan, which is funny because it's a callback to Scarlett Johansson's, character with the Black Widow being caught in Avengers, the first one, where she's talking to the Russian commander that's giving up all the information. And he does the same trick where he gets caught, he gets taken in, and then he's, trying to figure out stuff. But it's kind of funny because he's like, this is the best you could do. You go, bro. Real estate is hard right now, like he's like explaining himself. But it leads to this character that I have no idea who it is. I must have stopped reading comic books around this time where this character came in, but this character's, I guess her name is Echo.
Yeah. I had to look her up. I had no idea who she was either.
Apparently she has a skill set of like Taskmaster where she can kind of replicate what the person's doing. I think her whole thing is her senses are amplified because she can't hear. She's deaf, so she listens to the vibrations and she uses, I guess, some kind of memory. But I don't know if they're going to exactly do all of that in the MCU. They try to keep things a little bit more realistic. But, there really wasn't much besides that happened in the second episode. So I was like, all right, not bad. It's just a cool, nice episode. I'm looking forward to the next one to see what kind of happens there. I think the only other interesting thing that happened now was I guess Kate Bishop kind of like understanding and knowing that her mom's fiance is not who he says he is because of the way that he was fighting her, right?
Yeah. Because he gives away. She has a sense that, I guess, based on the swords, that he had better ability, and when they were sparring, she kept arguing that, don't hold back. Why are you holding back? And like she had to trick and pretend like she was going to attack him for real in order to get him to defend himself and show his actual ability.
Yeah, sure enough, man, he took that sword and flung it right off. She's like, you see. Yeah, very interesting, man. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to kind of like unraveling this mystery because, again, I think you and Al and I both don't think that this guy is the main bad. Her mom has something to do with this thing. I'm interested to see where they go with Echo, and I'm just looking forward to a good series, man. I mean, it's going to be 6 episodes, I believe, so it should end around Christmas time. And I don't know, just looking forward to more stuff, man.
Yeah, I want to see how they bring in and incorporate her into the Yelena into the show, because she's got to come in at some point. So she's either episode 5 or 6, or maybe even the end scene at the end of the show, to allude to the second season. So I just want to see how much, because I think she is in this series at some point.
Yes, I saw something saying that she was in this series, which kind of almost makes me wonder.
Yeah.
My fault. I was kind of wondering if, like, how they would do that. They have this thing going on with the Tracksuit Mafia. They have now introduced this Echo character. They got the mom and the dad who would look like bad guys as well. And then on top of that, they're going to add the new Black Widow. Like, this doesn't seem like it's going to make sense how they add it all in, but you have to trust the path, right?
Yeah, man. They find a way. They find a way.
Yeah, man. Yes, it was very interesting, man. So listen, the next episode 3 for Hawkeye, comes out this Wednesday night, I believe, or yeah, it's Wednesday at 9 o'clock or something like that. So definitely looking forward to seeing that episode, and we'll definitely review that on the next podcast, the Hawkeye. And then, we'll try to figure out if we can start prepping people for Spider-Man, because there's a lot of movies in that Spider-Man series to kind of remember the villains from each one. So maybe we'll split that up a little bit because we got 2 weeks to go. But definitely Hawkeye review episode 3 for next week. And that is going to be it for us, guys. So thank you guys today for watching us and for listening to the podcast. We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
And we got myself, Hobbs, saying thank you, guys. Please hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on a podcast playlist or some kind of podcasting app, hit the plus symbol. That way, every time we put a podcast out, you guys get notified and it comes right into your phones, or you get a little YouTube pop-up saying we put out an episode. So we'll see you guys on the next episode, Hawkeye episode 3 review, and maybe we start prepping you guys for Spider-Man. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Until next time.